Assalamualaikum. Today we are going to present about our project for ACC407, which is Fundamental Financial Accounting and Reporting. So we had choose our topic, Financial Accounting and Reporting of a sole proprietorship or partnership business. Our company name is Clo.co Cafe. In this project, we are going to discuss about the topic for background of the organization, the characteristic of business, classification of business item, the cycles, trends, and weakness of the business, recording process, and the last one is conclusion. For business background is Clo.co, which is a cafe, and we choose type of business is sole proprietorship. The location is at Ipoh, Perak. The owner's capital is 100,000. For business activity is they are selling bakery and beverage, which has many flavors and unique taste. Sole proprietorship for Clo.com. This company has operations since 3 years, since July 2020. The owners of Clo.co name is Salihah Takifah, and this business is registered under Suruhanjaya Malaysia SSM. This is a location for Clo.co, which is you can see from the map. It's at 55 Jalan Market, 30,000 Ipoh, Perak. The location was strategic. For operating hours, it's open every day from 10:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. The locations of Clo.co was strategic because it is 650 meters from KTM Ipoh, and there are many places to stay around the cafe. There are many interesting places such as Ipoh, Upside Down World, Ipoh Mural, Fantasy House. Actually, KTM Ipoh is one of their landmark, so it's easy for customer to search Clo.co.
The characteristic of business, this cafe is registered with Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia as a sole proprietorship company. Also, we know a sole trader is the most basic and adaptable business form. Seems easy, straightforward to organize, manage, and reserve. Although a sole proprietorship is controlled by the owner is allowed to hire workers to assist them in selling and the merchandise, and thus the owner can freely hire the worker because a sole proprietorship has no limit to the number of individuals who can be hired. For example, Ms. Salihah, the owner of Clo.co Cafe, hired 7 workers to assist her in running the business. The single proprietor of Clo.co Cafe, Ms. Salihah, enjoys all can and bear the whole cost of all loss. She shouldered the entire danger, and there is no one to share it with. Profit are not dispersed as a proportion of share, and no year-end bonus distribution occur. Furthermore, sole proprietors are not required to pay corporate income tax. They must pay individual income tax, depend on the company profit earning. Ms. Salihah will be in charge of all financial aspects of her company. This indicates that all of the company debts be carried on her shoulder. This exposes her personal holding, putting her own money at danger, even though this is one of the advantages of being a sole proprietor. It may also be a disadvantage.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Syed Ahmad Mustaqim bin Syed Farid Sanusi, and now I'll be presenting about the classification of business items for the Clo.co Cafe Sendiri Amirhat. Let's go. Okay, for this particular business, which is for the Chloe Co Cafe Sdn Bhd, there are 5 categories that are applied for the business, which is assets, liabilities, capital, revenues, and expenses, which I will be explaining for the next slide. Okay, for the assets is the resource of owner's property and used for the company's benefit and in the process of the business. It is classified into 2 types of assets, which are current assets and non-current assets. And for the current assets, it is used for a short term and can be converted into cash. And for the non-current assets, it is goods used for the company, used for the business for a long-term time, and it is not intended to be resell. Okay, for the Chloe Co Cafe Sdn Bhd, they own their assets, which are the machinery, the furniture, the kitchen tools, and they have their own building warehouse in Ipoh. And for the non-current assets that they own, they almost reach up to 120,000 as stated by the owner, and the owner stated that she has 60,000 ringgit cash in hand for the business support. For the liabilities is financially owed to purchase an asset for the business. And there are 2 types of liabilities, which is current liability and non-current liability. Current liability is loans needed to be paid within a year or in short-term loans. And for the non-current liabilities, it is loan owed more than a year, or we call it as a long-term loans. And for the Chloe Cafe Sdn Bhd, their current liability is tied with its own account payable with their supplier for the business. The supplier for the business is the Yan Baking, which they sign on credit of stocks for 30,000 ringgit for 3-month installments paid monthly by the owner. And for their non-current liability, bank loan at least 200,000 ringgit to start the business. And with the business profit earned, Miss Saleha, the owner, managed to repay the loan every month. Okay, as for capital is defined as the other resources provided by the owner to support the business, can be in terms of cash, machinery, vehicles, buildings, and land. And for the Chloe Cafe, Miss Saleha brought 150,000 to start her business. And the 3rd year operated, the business expand and managed to contribute another 20,000 ringgit. And Miss Saleha also provides some of the kitchen machinery as on her own, such as coffee machines, oven, and kitchen stove. As for today, Chloe Cafe Sdn Bhd has total of 170,000 ringgit for the business use. As for revenues and income received by the business on either trading or the business daily operating activities, and it also can be generated by selling business goods to the customers. And as for the Chloe Cafe increased their revenues from their daily business sales from the business goods, and it is set at least for 3,300 ringgit for the restaurant and 1,500 ringgit for delivery per day, which makes the total sales of around 144,000 ringgit monthly today. Okay, expenses is a cost which bears by the company to generate more income. Expenses in the business is usually a continuing operation of the business, such as salaries, water bill, electric bill, and the shop lot rental. And as for the Chloe Co Cafe, it is incurs more expenses in the business company, which is stated as in the slide, for the wages, utilities, shop lot rental, and for the insurance expenses per month. And for other non-operating expenses such as loan interest and tax are also supported by the company depending on the amount. Okay, for the last slide, this is about the list of business items that is used, purchased, or brought by the owner, Miss Saleha, for her business for the Chloe.co Cafe Sdn Bhd. And the table shows the business item, the type of item that is used or purchased, and the quantity of item, and the amount of item that is purchased by her, by the owner. Okay, that's all from me, and I will pass it to the next presenter. Okay, thank you very much for watching and listening.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Siti Mashita binti Kamar Zaman. Accounting includes the documentation of company transaction. This involves recording any depreciation expenses as just adjustment entry in the general ledger. Any procedure or transaction can be recorded using accounting software, an accounting logbook, or any transaction book. It is critical to keep accurate and timely record. The most effective way to record accounting transactions is to use bookkeepers and accountants to follow the conventional accounting cycle. This is simply to ensure that all accounting transactions are accurately documented. After we did some research, we found Miss Saleha, the owner of Chloe.co Bakery Cafe Sdn Bhd, has hired a professional accountant and branch manager as he is new to this business and have enough capital to start the business. Below are the list of accounting cycles, strength, and weakness that run by Chloe.co Bakery Cafe Sdn Bhd. Accounting cycle strength and weakness. First, they have a source document. Chloe Cafe Sdn Bhd always keep track all the evident cash in and out as Mr. Saleha has hired the professional accountant and branch manager to handle the company account management. Ms. Saleha has been used a POS, point of sale system, as a main method to monitor the cash in and out. Second, journal. To tracking any daily debits and credit, double entry system, Ms. Saleha has hired a branch manager for his business. Her branch manager will update the journal by daily as they only serve fresh food every day. Might be late, but sometimes it is recorded manually. Third is ledgers, a book that contains an account or record used in which they summarize and classify information. It is included of assets, liabilities, equity, revenue, and expenses. There are three types of ledger: general, debtor, and creditor. This step is done by the professional accountant that Ms. Saleha hired. It is also a part of strength that Chloe.co Cafe Sdn Bhd had. Other than that, ledger help in preparing a trial balance. Fourth is trial balance, a worksheet that compiles all the balance of the ledger into debit and credit total account column that are equal. Business did a trial balance from the beginning by using the professional accountant. There are few weaknesses by doing a simple mistakes in trial balance account, especially if there are any arithmetic error in the accounting, then this will get reflected in the trial balance. The last one is financial statement. A company records the return, the business activity, and the financial performance. There are two basic financial statements, the balance sheet and the income statement. These financial statements were done before they submitted to a professional accountant for the purpose of a second review.
The conclusion from this project is to summarize, sole proprietorship outperform partnership. Furthermore, because the income under the proprietorship is considered personal income, it may be subject to lesser taxes than those based on other forms of business ownership. Aside from that, a single proprietorship makes resolution and decision-making authority simple and rapid. Because the solo trader has complete control over the operation, he or she can react fast to changes, which is advantageous in a volatile market. Then the ability to direct the company's course of action is a powerful motivator. Those who thrive on the thrill of finding new business owners thrive on the sense of power they have over their personal financial destinies and the prize they receive as business owner. Aside from that, sole proprietors are far superior than partnership because partnership have far more disadvantages than sole proprietors. When one of the partners die, issues occur because the remaining partner may not desire to be in a partnership with the person who inherits the deceased partner's interests. Partnership interests are frequently non-transferable through inheritance.